Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this NXT Roadblock review and opinions video. This genuinely was one of the best NXT shows I have seen in a long time, and 2025 is full of really great NXT shows. That makes this one of the best wrestling shows that I've seen in a long time, and the reason why I can say that so confidently: crowd were brilliant, really added to the atmosphere. The venue looked amazing. Every match delivered. I think there was, 5 matches? And every match you lot scored as great. So Hardy's against Fraxiom, great 83. Brilliant way to start the show. Roxanne against Jordynne, you saw that as a bit of a dip down, but it was still great 72. Then we had Oba against Moose, that was great 78. Giulia against Ethan was great 82. And then Giulia versus Stephanie, great 90. So your favourite match as a community was the main event, Giulia versus Stephanie, and it was very impressive. Giulia, Ethan did really well. They came in third place. Hardy's Fraxiom coming in second place. Main event being in first place. This thing, it's hard to fault, honestly. I really am kind of struggling to find issues. I made a comment during Unseen. I made a comment during the watch-along. For me, an area that I would like to have seen just tightened is during commercial break. I mean, honestly, some of the matches during commercial break, I felt like they slowed. Obviously, people go to commercials, others don't. For those of us that don't, the matches really can fall away. The energy seems to go out of the matches. Not always. There were certainly some moments where I felt, I think it was Roxanne, Jordynne, it was Giulia, Stephanie. I really felt like they kind of kept that going, during the commercial breaks. But there was a few like Oba versus Moose, Giulia versus Ethan Page. Those matches just seemed to, wait for people to come back from commercial break before we really got going again. So that would be a little niggle, but these are nothing but little niggles. Would have been cool to have had Undertaker come out in front of the crowd and to have had the crowds having a moment, to have, because the crowd would have popped huge to have seen the Undertaker. Again, not important. They didn't do it that way. They kept them backstage. They kept the spotlight very bright on the NXT and TNA talent. So, I mean, I'm not really down on that, but, he was there, and he does get in the ring, actually, but it's all done kind of either before or after the broadcast. So we just got that little backstage thing of him and Oba, but that was still really cool. That was still really cool. So I did appreciate that. And really the big kind of complaint, but it's not a big complaint, the biggest complaint I could come up with is that there wasn't anything groundbreaking here. For example, Hardy's against Fraxiom for the TNA title. Hardy's retain. Roxanne against Jordynne. Roxanne's pretty much going to the main roster, so Jordynne wins. Oba versus Moose for the NXT Championship. Oba wins. So no title change there. Giulia versus Ethan. Could have gone either way, but Giulia needs to get that payback and does. Obviously, we had the group at that point. There was a few grumbles in our watch-along because I think the group have kind of been doing a similar thing for a little while now, and I think people are ready to move on to something else with them. What are your names? What are you all about? What is the purpose of this group? I think that, had the lights have gone out and Malachi Black had been in the ring, or Rusev had returned, or, I know that might have been asking for too much, but that kind of OMG moment just sort of felt like it was missing on the show, which is why I wouldn't go 10 out of 10. But I am probably 8.5 or 8.75. I'm kind of torn between those two. I'm well into the 8s. I mean, there's no debate in my mind that this show is worthy of an 8. It's just what number is it worthy of? And I keep coming back to 8.5. I think if it had had that kind of Malachi Black moment, or it had had that kind of, oh my God, everyone's going to be talking about this type moment, which I didn't feel like it had. Obviously, the big moment is Stephanie winning, but one of those women was going to win, right? That was going to go one way unless there'd been some outside interference. Really great match. Stephanie gets it. We think Giulia steps away for a little bit, but really outside of like a big OMG moment that kind of really changed and shook stuff. Aside from during commercial breaks, some of the matches slowing down. Besides, it would have been nice to have seen Mickie James, Undertaker, they were there. Brady as well. Brady said to me, what happened to Miko Satomura? And I was like, oh, that's a good point, actually, because she was meant to be around, and I kind of thought that we would see her. Like, she could have presented the belts to Stephanie, but she didn't. I wonder what's happened there. I wonder why she wasn't on this show, because I heard that she was still going to be around for this. So, yeah, that was an interesting question. I don't have the answer to that. Haven't seen any word on that. But for me, that's why I'm like 8.5, 8.75. It's a very difficult show to criticize. So, yeah, let's get into your thoughts. And I'd imagine you're going to kind of share similar opinions. So Homer said the winner's going to take all the golds. Stephanie is now a double champion. WrestleBuzz said, had a bit of everything I want in a show from start to finish. Only thing missing that would have made it perfect would be some sort of debut or surprise return, but I'm not complaining. Yeah, I agree. Surprise return, but I don't know who could have come back. I don't know who's big that's kind of out injured at the moment that could have come back to have been that sort of surprise return. But yes, I'm with you on that. Nishi said it was an excellent PLE. It wasn't even a PLE, but it felt that way. With 2 match of the year contenders, Oba versus Moose, Javon versus Ethan, Hardys versus Fraxiom, and main event were good too. Congratulations to Stephanie. Shawn Michaels knows how to book a flawless show. Carl said it was an awesome show. Oba Moose was all right. All the other matches were fire. WWE versus TNA matches being for titles is stupid. There's zero chance of titles going to someone from the other company, especially WWE titles. New group is so happy that Stephanie won. Viva la Primera. I do wonder, though, if at some point someone is going to win a title from another brand. Because this relationship is going for the next few years. So at some point, are we going to have an NXT talent with a TNA title? They could carry it for a little bit, drop it back at, Slammiversary or whatever. Equally, could we get the Hardys winning the NXT tag titles? I mean, the Hardys being NXT tag champs is not the craziest idea in the world, is it? So I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know how unlikely it is that those belts could go to someone from a different company, because this partnership feels quite strong at the moment. Ryder said, the show was amazing. Every match delivered. It exceeded my expectations that were already high. There's not enough words that can do justice. It was simply awesome. I had a blast watching the full 2 hours. Uncle Revel said it was a PLE quality show. All 4 matches were great and the show just flew by. My only gripe is that I don't care for that group that attacked Javon. I'm bored of it already. Also, main event was rushed for time, but it was a great match nonetheless. Could have been all-time 8.5. It is true, actually. I think I would have gone less time on Oba. This show would have benefited by no commercial breaks. Had this have been a PLE without advert interruption, oh God, we seriously could have had something really special. I mean, this was special, but we really could have had, because that would have got rid of my criticism of the matches slowing down during the ad breaks. If it was a PLE as well, would they have increased the chances of doing a little debut or something? Could they have increased the chances of, someone appearing that was kind of shocking? Yeah, I do wish this had been a PLE rather than a Tuesday night show, to be honest with you. But yeah, I agree. I agree with a lot of the points made there. Muggsy said, wow, this is better than some main roster PLEs, in my opinion. No match was bad, but if I have to say, then I think Roxanne versus Jordynne Grace was the weakest. Javon versus Ethan Page match of the night. Can't believe how NXT is keeping this up, but how long will it last? Overall, 825. John Elite said, congrats to Steph. Wonder if Stephanie will vacate that North American. Focus on the NXT women's title, similar to Keith Lee years ago. Roxanne call up after tonight. Love the interactions with the LFG coaches. Well, I mean, she's sort of already up. It feels that way to me. She did say to Bayley that she'll be right back. She's just sort of popping in to deal with some stuff. So, yeah, I think this is probably her last match. But then I find myself saying that a few times and it never quite coming out that way. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'll be surprised if she keeps carrying on with NXT. Oppola said, wow, that was beautifully crafted. It started off as a 4.6 out of 10, ended up being a 9.7 out of 10. Not many shows can jump up points like that with me. Each match was near 5-star point also. Tag match, though, was like a 2.4 out of 5 for me, says Oppola's Travels. Mitchell said, honestly, one of the best shows of the year. NXT is on an all-time run right now. Every match delivered, and they still managed to set up shows for next week. NXT has officially been granted side door entrance to the 8 Club. They can get in whenever they want. Dice said it was an epic show. Everyone on the show tonight looked main roster ready. Ethan versus Javon was my match of the night. Did you see what happened to Javon's leg? There was a lot of blood. 8 out of 10. P.S. Imagine the Manias were going to get 10 years from now. So my understanding is that those were jeans he was wearing when he was attacked previous. That is blood from previous. I don't believe that was from this show. But I think it was a reminder to him of what Ethan had done to him. That's my understanding of it. So Mayor Pete just tagged me in something on that I've just literally put into Unseen, but I haven't had a chance to like really look into it. But that's my understanding of it. Matthew said, it was a great show, and I could see the Hardys facing DIY for the Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania. Congrats to Stephanie being the undisputed champion. Or NXT getting rid of the North American title? I don't think so. And Mickey managing Jada is a great idea. That might have just been for this week, to be honest, because of the LFG coaches being around. I'm not sure if that's going to be a permanent thing. Jason said, the best NXT since Black and Golds. Jasmine said, I'm sorry I didn't watch NXT. I was doing laundry. And I said, I hope it went okay. And actually, we might have an update here. It went well. Oh, thank God. Thank God. So, there we go. We'll leave it like there. Tom said, I didn't get to watch. Did they mention that this had happened before? I didn't hear them mention it. It was mentioned in the chat in our community. But I didn't hear them mention it. But they could have done. I only give commentary a little pass-in listen, to be honest. Wolfrian Grits said, all I'm going to say is, wow, just an amazing show top to bottom. Javon Evans is something special. Wish I could move like that. Ring Rebel said NXT was amazing tonight. The street fight was my favourite match. The group that came through the crowd felt a little bit rinse and repeat, but overall 8.5. Also, I've got a question. How do they replace the announce table so fast after someone goes through it? I think it is just like the Mattel version of it, like the whole table sort of slots together. It's not like screws and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of like clicks into place. So it's quite easy for it to just get very quickly reassembled. Like, it's designed to break away quite easily, but then it's designed to just get put back together quite easily as well. So, yeah, it's not something which is that hard to reassemble, to be honest. And they've got plenty of people that can just jump in, technicians around that can, you know, put 5 or 6 of them on it and could be done in a few minutes. Chris said, it's just like the figure ones. If you've ever had the figure ones, you can like slam a figure through it and then it's pretty easy to just click back together in a few moments. Chris said, Daze, the show was so good. It gave me takeover vibes. 8.75. All the matches was banger after banger after banger. Even knowing that Steph was going to win didn't take anything away from the match. I have no idea how Stand and Deliver can live up to this, but I am all in for it. We don't do all in. That's an AEW thing, Chris. So, yeah, do better. I'm joking. Hope you will. Charles said, I enjoyed it. It was better than Raw, in my opinion. Callum said it was a good show. Great matches. Happy for Stephanie winning. And NXT is cooking. Al Patata said, my favourite matches, Javon was first, Stephanie second, Oba third. It's what you expect from a wrestling show. I can't forgive Sean for giving the main event less than 15 minutes. We might have to wait 10 years for part 2 with Triple H's long-term storytelling. So a 9.5 from Al Patata. The Blizzard 6 says, it gets better and better every week. Las Vegas Matt said, I thought top to bottom it was a PLE on television, which is what they were shooting for. Every match was great. I hope that Giulia heals up because she showcased why she signed and booked so strong since the debut. 9.5. NXT is the best show every week. Thanks, Daze. Thanks, Matt. Vic says, Daze, it definitely felt like a PLE. Hardys are always great. Are you thinking that was Roxanne's last match? Yes, I am. It was good. Moose versus Oba was great. Javon Ethan cooked. That boy is crazy. Happy for Steph. Hope Giulia is back by Stand and Deliver. 8 out of 10. Jazz said, this show never fails. All the matches delivered. I'm done with the Javon Page feud now. I think teaming with Saints would do them both good. 8 out of 10. See you Friday, 7 p.m. UK time. See you then, buds. Brady said, Roadblock was 8 out of 10. All the matches were fantastic. I hope we get to see Tate and Paxley soon on NXT. It's been 5 weeks. Has it been that long, really? Blue Will Smith said, overall, rank an A. WWE Ethan said, good to see the Hardys, but Roxanne lost. So I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. But keep up the good work, Day. Shout out to you, buds. Larry said, hi, Wrestling Daze. Hi, Larry. Hope you're well. NXT was an awesome show. Matches were all great. Loved Oba versus Moose and Hardys versus Fraxiom. Giulia Steph match was great. Street fight match was fire. I give the show an 8.9. It was banger after banger. Daily Bugle Insider said, I'm going to score Roadblock a 9. Craig said, fantastic. 8.5. I would go 9 or higher, but time constraints with no overrun on CW caused the main event to be a little rushed versus time to simmer and tell more of a story. Main event was still amazing. Bit more time for them and it would have been an all-time epic match. I agree. And do you know what? If it had been a PLE, we could have gone 2.5 hours. So we would have had no adverts. We could have gone a little bit longer. They might have increased the chances. God, this should have been a PLE. I know it's great that it was just on TV, but oh my God. I feel like this thing could have gone to just that next level if it had been a PLE. But the level we're at now, we still at so good. Raymond said, hello, Daze. I thought NXT Roadblock was really good. Matches were outstanding. I was on the edge of my seat for every match. I'm going to rate it 10 out of 10. It's the best show, hands down. Shout out to you, and I'll see you Friday. See you Friday, buds. Richard Jr. said, do we think Roxanne will play mind games with Stephanie? I don't think so. I'm not expecting... I mean, she just lost to Jordynne. So I don't know that she's got any right to challenge Stephanie now, but and plus also I think she is main roster now, so I think she's done. I think she's out. I think it's over. Wrestling fans since day one said 8.5. It was amazing. I don't think Stand and Deliver going to be as amazing as that show was. But a quick question. Will we get Roman Punk Seth at WrestleMania? Where would you put it on the cards? Please respond. I think we do get that match, and I would have it penciled in as the main event, and I would make it a number 1 contenders match. Winner faces the champion at Backlash. That's what I would do. I think that there is an argument for the women's main events, but I think, look how hot Roman and Seth and how much they hate each other. Add CM Punk into that with how much Punk and Seth hate each other. And a very interesting dynamic with Heyman and Punk and Roman. Like, there's a lot to explore there over the next few weeks. So for me, there's just a lot more meat on that bone than there is for Bianca, Rhea, and Io. It is hard for the women, though. How are they ever going to get back to main eventing? I think there's going to have to come a year where you just go, do you know what? It's the women this year, and they're main eventing. I don't feel like we've done that this year. I feel like Cody Cena night 2, and how do you leave Punk, Seth, Roman out of the main event of night 1? I think with Jey Uso, I see him, Gunther, kicking off night 2. And I don't know where you put Rhea, Bianca, Io. I think you could have that kick off night 1, but I don't know if you don't kind of build it to the main event in the middle of the show. You could do it as the main event of, like, the first part of night 1. Like, I wonder if we could get away with having, like, opening matches, closing matches, and middle matches where we sort of build up to, like, a big main event in the middle of the show. And then after that, we have, like, loads of vignettes, and we have loads of, like, you know, attendance being read out. And do you know what I mean? Like, we just need a bit of a breather after what was an amazing match. We sort of did that at WrestleMania 8 with Macho Man against Ric Flair. That was for the WWE Championship. So it was the title match on that card. It was Ric Flair, right, who had just won the Rumble. He was taking on Macho Man, and that didn't close the show, and it wasn't even like the co-main. It was kind of bang in the middle of the card. And I don't mind that, to be honest. I don't mind us having, like, a match in the middle of the card that we build up to, and it's epic, and it gets quite a bit of extra time. And, you know, it could have main evented night 1 on a different year, and so it gets loads of time. And then after, we do, like, attendance readouts. We do, you know, backlashes come in on this date, and have you seen Evolve yet? And here's the Hall of Fame people, and we just do loads of those bits. And then we kind of start part 2 as we then start building towards the big main event of the night. So, yeah, a good question. I would look to structure it some sort of way like that. So I would actually have, like, 6 matches that I'm showcasing. The 2 that close the night, the 2 in the middle that are kind of main events, billed as main events, and the 2 that open the card. Right. Winter Soldier said it was good. Seems more like Road to WrestleMania than actual 2 main rosters. Than the actual... got you. So you mean more than SmackDown Raw. I believe it's time for dinner to give us more information about the mystery group. I think there might be some predictive kind of stuff here, text. But altogether, 8 out of 10. And the only reason is because I was looking for something before it ended. Yeah. Brendan, shout out to you. Ashman said it was an amazing show from start to finish. All the matches were great. NXT cooked once again. I wish the new faction gave us a promo, but man, they did the young OG dirty after his big win overall, 875-9. Alan says, where's the poll? It is now. Yeah, it was a little bit delayed. I've got a problem with this month because obviously the shows are going to be starting at different start times. So I didn't have the NXT one, like, lined up, scheduled, ready to go. But it's up now. We'll have a look at it in a sec. Kayfabe Colt said, controversial hot take, the street fight was better than the unsanctioned match at Elimination Chamber. Wow. Master Taker said it was a great show. I think tonight is the first time TNA wrestlers wrestled at MSG. Side note, count in the theatre as MSG because it's part of the Garden. Yeah, that's fine. I give it an 8. Larry said it was an amazing show. All great matches beginning to end. Wow, I didn't think we was almost done. I think there was over 50 comments here. We've done well. I just finished watching NXT. This is why it's so late. I really enjoyed it once again. NXT is the better show. It was pretty much all wrestling tonight. There was a few quick backstage segments and promos. If you know me, you'll know what my match of the night was. My girl is now Stephanie Two Belts. I thought it was a bit funny with Giulia doing the headbanger. That's what I'm calling it. It's a good name. On Stephanie. But Giulia got one right back. I was so happy for her, even though it was a bit spoiled for us. This wasn't a match I didn't enjoy. Can't wait for Trick versus Eddie next week. I like this new angrier Trick. Tonight was a 9 for me, and that's mostly because Stephanie won. I think that's fair. Clay said, I love the show. I want a picture of Roxanne Perez. And Sam Sham Slam said Oba went on a successful moose hunt. They are both beasts in the ring. Very good. Right, so love that. Love the fact we got through all those comments. Let's get these opinions lined up. So there you can see 4 votes. But let's refresh it and see if we did attract any more. We went to 33 votes. That's okay, right? It's obviously nowhere near where we would like it to be. But normally we're like on 100 and something, so we're a bit down. But it's giving you an idea, isn't it? Look, you can see it at the moment looks like Great is going to come out on top, which, I don't know. I really didn't know which one the community was going to go for. But it's all, 0% have said it was bad. 12% said it was good, okay. But, it's all up here at the moment, isn't it? Quite often, we're battling between these two. It seems like it's a battle between these two. And, I just don't know. I think for a TV show, I'll probably go all time. Normally, I'm on that line there. I think I'm, on this line now. I feel like I'm, really super high grade or really super low all time. But I think I probably do just click into all time, so I think that would be my pick. But listen, you do you. You do you. I think for a TV episode of NXT, it don't get much better than that, to be honest. It don't get much better. So there we go. Right, we will be back later with Evolve. So that'll be good. Looking forward to that. I enjoyed episode 1. We'll see what episode 2 has got for us. So yeah, we'll be back later on. And there'll be another Unseen as well. Appreciate all the support as always. Have a good day. And hopefully I'll see you later on. Bye for now.